Hey chickens, bonjour, happy Tuesday afternoon. I start the timer. I'm gonna keep it to 14 minutes. Welcome to the Tuesday Live. Every Tuesday I jump on here at about 1 p.m. to talk about a topic related to the month's focus. And here on Good Food and You, we've been talking about stress and how nutrition can support you through this in these really wild times, yeah? So first things first, we're gonna talk about 3 foods today to focus on when there is stress in your life. These are the foods that'll best support you through it. First of all, not making any claims. This is not medical advice. This is just food. And it's just ways to think about what you put in your mouth 3 to 5 times a day for food. That's okay. Mind out of the gutter. To support you through these wild times. Yeah. So we're going to have 3 foods. These are all foods that I have highlighted already on my blog. So if you're just tuning in for 5 seconds, you're like, just give me the deets, Luca. I'm going to tell you, eat liver, eat chocolate, and eat fruit. Preferably not all together. I don't know how that would taste. We're going to get into why each of those foods is de rigueur when we're talking about stress and adrenal support specifically. So here's the deal. Really, we're talking about stress all month long, right? And now, unless you have like a science degree, stress just means stress. But I'll tell you from a nutrition standpoint, stress draws on your adrenals from a holistic point of view. And that's the beauty of the work I do. We look at it holistically. How does everything fit together? I am your holistic nutrition practitioner. Holistic is part of the title for a reason. So when stress hits, and when stress hits hard, the adrenals take the brunt of it. And it's due to something called the HPA axis, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal gland axis. These 3 guys all work together, and when there is a red alert, because there's stress going on, either internal stress or external stress, then that triggers the adrenals to release cortisol as one of the hormones that is released. Most people know about cortisol. Yeah, the stress guy. That's because the HPA axis. That's nice. Don't get too technical, Luca. Okay, I won't. Sorry. Hi, Debbie. Okay. What are those best 3 foods? First one up is liver. It will always be liver. Liver is one of my most favorite foods to add in for deep nutrition, especially when we're talking about replenishing stores that have gone a little bit empty. Liver is one of those foods that's actually really, it's the rebuilder kind of food. And it's important when there's stress to add in those foods that'll help rebuild the stores. Because here's the deal. When there's stress going on, you need more nutrients. Every time the stress response is turned on, if you live in a highly infested saber-toothed tiger area, if you have a lot of stress, if you're living as a human in 2020, all of a sudden you need more nutrients. Every time the stress response goes on, you need magnesium, vitamin C, B vitamins. When we're talking liver, it's one of those amazing foods that provides your body with nutrients that get utilized a lot in that stress response. So I love liver because of B vitamins, tons of usable, already converted versions. Some of the B vitamins, it makes it tricky for humans to convert from plant form to animal form if there is an issue at the liver level called there's a few different genetic mutations. One of them that you may be familiar with is the MTHFR gene mutation. When that mutation's around, you have a hard time converting the plant form of, say, folate or folic acid into the methylfolate. Methylfolate is the usable animal form. Honey, you're an animal. In the stress response, you need the methylfolate version. So eat liver. It's already converted. You don't even have to wait for your little liver to do the conversion because she's probably busy doing other things. I also love it because so many nutrients in liver help to bring down inflammation. When we're talking adrenals and stress, there is a low-grade inflammation that's happening in the body. Liver helps go shh and put the fires out. The other thing too is liver is a really great source of protein, and you need protein to make all of the hormones that your body produces in a stress response. Yeah. Do you know that hormones are the way your body makes telephone calls for things to happen? And there's a cascade of them that start to show up when there's a stress response. So you want to be able to have that stress response. You want to have all the nutrients you need to build that stress response because the stress response is life-saving. It's not a terrible thing that you've got stress. It's a terrible thing that you're having a hard time moving through stress. Do you want to have an easier time of it? eat protein. Oh, liver happens to be a great source of protein. Yeah, the backbone of every single hormone in the body is built on protein. Eat your GD protein. Okay. That's first food. Second food, cacao, chocolate. I didn't say this wasn't going to be delicious. Yeah, right? Food and real food can be okay and real and good and delicious and easy to achieve. Liver's one of them, P.S. Okay, cacao. Why cacao? Lots of different reasons. The main three components, we've got magnesium, we've got antioxidants, and we've got mood support. So cacao is one of those fantastic helpers in the body to help support all aspects that are impacted when stress is rampant in the body. So just eat chocolate. What a great idea. If you have histamine issues, concentrate more on the cacao butter. It is lower in histamines than the rest of cacao products. So cacao powder, cacao nibs, cacao paste is fine for most people. But for those histamine folks, go for cacao butter. It is lower in histamines. So why I love it. Cacao products are one of the best sources of magnesium. We'll talk about magnesium. I talk about it all the time. Magnesium is the anti-stress or the chill pill, nature's chill pill. And so when there's a lot of stress going on, magnesium actually helps to protect the brain from the stress coming into the brain, like that biochemical signaling to go into the brain. Magnesium helps to protect the brain from it. Oh, maybe you should eat chocolate. That sounds like a good idea. The other reason I love cacao, lots of antioxidants. Why do you need antioxidants when there's stress? Here's why. When the stress response goes on, your body feels like there's fires going on or saber-toothed tigers. What happens when that stress response comes along is it produces something called oxidation. That's the end result of stress and or inflammation in the body. Now, oxidation is the fire. What puts out the fire? Antioxidants. Yeah. And cacao is one of the richest antioxidant foods out there. It also helps to do all of these brilliant things in the body, like regenerate mitochondria so you can have energy levels again. I don't know about you, but when stress is around, energy is low. Eat cacao. Honestly, in cacao versus cocoa, cacao will have a better array of those antioxidants. Cocoa will have some. So do the one that is your best price point. Keep it real, keep it affordable. Once in a while, can I really super duper recommend you go for the cacao version? It'll have more of those nutrients. The other reason I love cacao, for that mood piece. There are so many things, some key chemical compounds found in cacao that support the hormonal piece of things when stress is called upon. And the hormonal piece has a really big sway on your mood. And when stress is around, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of that sort of feeling. You know what helps to quelch that and go, it's okay. Cacao. There's chemical compounds found in cacao products that help support you through the mood piece of this. Oh, hot chocolate? Daily. Just had a cup. Now, the third food we're talking about today is fruit. This is a controversial one a little bit because there are so many people who are like, you have to go low carb, you have to take carbs out, you can't eat carbs, carbs are killing us. Some carbs can trigger more inflammation. That's a talk for another day. But when it comes to fruit, this is actually a super duper helper when it comes to stress and the response in the body. Here's why. Most fruit contains vitamin C. Yeah, I think most people would know that. Do you know that every time that stress response goes off in your body, you need to use vitamin C for part of that response? So it stands to reason that somebody who has the stress response that goes off a lot, feels stress keenly, is having a hard time moving through 2020 because everyone is telling you all of the things and it's not a terrible time to be alive, P.S. But in that stress response, every time it's triggered, your body needs to use vitamin C. And vitamin C is not a nutrient we store. There's a lot of animals in the animal kingdom that can make it, that store it, that do really well. But we've never had to because we've always looked to our foods to supply it for us. So we've never had to learn how to make it. We've never had to figure out how to recycle it in our bodies because we've always had it in abundance. Vitamin C is a super abundant vitamin that is found in so many different fresh foods. Well, how many fresh foods are you eating these days, friend? Is there a lot of packaged foods? Is there a lot of reliance on super cooked stuff? Well, here's this magic of fruit. Fruit carries with it vitamin C. All fruit does. Yeah, you can get caught up and think, I need to eat more of this because it has more vitamin C. If you want to. But if you're creating the stress response in that moment, now you're going to need more of it. So I suppose you should probably eat the higher vitamin C stuff. Why don't you also just eat fruit? Why don't you just go, I'm going to calm the bleep down and eat some fruit? That's a great idea for a few reasons. Yes, the vitamin C. Here's another reason. Fruit provides your body with carbohydrates. This is where it gets tricky, and I need to keep it short because I got 3 minutes left. Carbohydrates are not the enemy. You need carbohydrates for the function of every cell in the body. When you run out of stores of glucose and carbohydrates in the system, your body trips the stress response your brain actually trips it and now turns on your stress response internally. So now you're going to pretend there's a saber-toothed tiger in your room so that your body can go, red alert. Oh my God, panic, panic, panic. Part of the cascade of hormones that happens is that there's a bunch of sugar that's now freed into your bloodstream, so you have carbohydrates for your brain so you don't die. How brilliant of a rescue remedy is that? Thanks, body. Oops. Do you want to keep tripping that stress response? Probably not. It's actually it's contributing to the high stress feeling. So what's one of the ways you could do that? Well, you cut it off at the pass and you start introducing carbohydrates at very specific times during the day. It'll be different for different people. If you tend to have anxiety and sort of wigginess to late afternoon, then adding carbohydrates in breakfast time is one of those ways to support that piece. If you're waking up in the middle of the night having a hard time, then adding root vegetables and carbohydrates later on in the day might be a better option. I mean, it depends on the person. That's where I can help you figure some of those pieces out. So carbohydrates are not the energy. When you provide your body with these fruit, you get that vitamin C and a hit of carbohydrates, which prevents your body from having to go into the stress response in the first place. How great idea is that? Oh, and there's so many other reasons. So fiber, sure. Fiber's great because fiber's going to help mine that happy microbiome, the bugs at the gut that have a really big say in how you're going to move through stress. So anytime you're eating real food, you're supporting that, and fruit counts. So in conclusion, what are the 3 foods you need to focus on when you are stressed or when stress is huge? And I will reiterate that stress is the same thing as chronic low-grade inflammation in the body, which is the same as chronic disease, which is the same as autoimmune conditions, which is the same as mood and anxiety stuff that you're having a hard time moving through where the world feels heavy. Introduce liver, add in the good fruit, and make sure there's chocolate on the daily. Those are 3 beginning pieces to put in place for you to help support that stress response. And I've got more on my blog. I've been doing a Monday Morsels piece. I have so many free resources. If you're like, I can't find them all, Luca. Okay, sign up for my newsletter. You'll get them all in one neat package on Friday afternoons. Find that through my link in profile. But are you thinking like, I can't juggle all these pieces. How do I find them all? Why don't you just book in with me then? Why don't we get you feeling better? That's what I do. I walk you through those pieces and I put the roadmap for you so you can find your way so you don't have to do it on your own. If you want to cut to the chase and just get her done, you need to contact me. I do have a couple of other things as well. There is a 6-week program that starts tonight. We're focusing on adrenals and stress. It's called Eating with the Seasons. I'll put the link down below in the comments. There's also a Sunday afternoon conversation where we'll be talking about ways to move through stress. So if you're struggling with stress, that Sunday, November 29th class might be a really good place to start. Or if you want to commit to 6 weeks right now, that's also an option. Whatever the case may be, hit me up with your questions. Get in touch. We'll get you feeling better really soon. It's my MO, and it's what I want for you. In the meantime, comment below with what food you're going to start with, because I want to know. Okay, toodles, everybody. Salut, à bientôt!